419 BC, the Peace of Nicias is broken when Sparta defeats Argos. 418 BC, the Spartans win a major victory over the Athenians in the Battle of Mantinea, the biggest land battle of the Peloponnesian War. 416 BC, the Athenians capture the island of Melos and treat the inhabitants with great cruelty. 415 BC, Alcibiades defects from Athens to Sparta after having learned about his death sentence. 414 BC, the Athenians tried to make a breakthrough in their siege of Syracuse but are defeated by the Spartans. 413 BC, Caria allies itself with Sparta. 412 BC, the Persian Empire starts preparing an invasion of Ionia and signs a treaty with Sparta about it. 411 BC, the democracy in Athens is overthrown and replaced by the oligarchic council of 400. This council is itself soon defeated and order is almost restored, when the 5,000 start ruling. 410 BC, Athens regains control over its vital grain route from the Black Sea by defeating Sparta in the Battle of Cyzicus. 409 BC, the city of Rhodes is founded. 408 BC, the Persian king, Darius II, decides to aid Sparta in the war and makes his son Cyrus a satrap. However, Cyrus starts collecting an army to benefit his own interests, rather than his father's. 407 BC, the Athenian fleet is routed by the Spartan one in the Battle of Notium, which gives Alcibiades' opponents a reason to strip him of command. He never returns to Athens again. 406 BC, the Carthaginians once again invade Sicily and return to Carthage with spoils of war, but also with the plague. 405 BC, the Spartan king Pausanias lays siege to Athens, which makes the city start starving. April 25, 404 BC, Athens surrenders to Sparta, ending the Peloponnesian War. Sparta introduces an oligarchic system, the 30 tyrants, in Athens. 404 BC, Egypt rebels against Persian rule, which is the 28th dynasty of Egypt starts. 403 BC, the Athenians adopt the Ionian alphabet. 401 BC, Cyrus the Younger rebels against the Persian king Artaxerxes II but is, however, eventually slain in battle. 400 BC, Jomon period ends in Japan. 398 BC, the 29th dynasty of Egypt starts. 396 BC, pay is introduced for Roman soldiers for the first time. 394 BC, the Falerii surrender unconditionally to the Romans under M Furius Camillus. 390 BC, Gauls sack city of Rome. 388 BC, the Equi are defeated by the Romans at a battle near Bola. 386 BC, the combined Italian tribes, the Latins, Volsci, and Hernici are defeated by the Romans. 381 BC, the district of Tusculum is pacified after a revolt against Rome, and conquered. 380 BC, 30th dynasty of Egypt starts. 378 BC, construction of the permanent Servian Wall. 377 BC, the Latins are defeated after the capture of the city of Satricum. 375 BC, no curule magistrates are elected. 367 BC, the Temple of Concord is built in Rome. 366 BC, the introduction of the Ludi Romani games. 361 BC, Rome captures the city of Ferentinum. 360 BC, war with cities of Tibur, Pranest, and the tribe Hernici. 359 BC, the town of Tarquinii revolts against Roman rule. 357 BC, Falerii revolts and Gauls raid Latium. 356 BC, the first plebeian dictator is appointed. July 20, 356 BC, Alexander the Great is born. 354 BC, Samnites sign a treaty of alliance with Rome. 353 BC, Caia was defeated. 352 BC, the tomb of King Mausolus of Carla, known as the Mausoleum, is built to house the remains of the dead king. 351 BC, the office of censor is opened to the plebeians. 348 BC, treaty with Carthage. 346 BC, the Romans defeat the cities of Antium and Satricum. 343 BC 31st Dynasty of Egypt began. 341 BC, First Samnite War ends. 340 BC, Great Latin War began. 338 BC, the rostra, or speaking platform, is created by G Maenius, which is the ending of the Great Latin War. 337 BC, office of praetor opened to plebeians. 336 BC, the Romans capture the town of Teanum Sidicinum. 334 BC, Alexander the Great of Macedonia begins his eastern campaigns. 332 BC, creation of two new tribes at Rome, Maesia and Scaptia. 330 BC, Ostia is founded. 329 BC, the Circus Maximus is completed in Rome. 328 BC, Etruria and Campania annexed. 326 BC, Second Samnite War began. June 10, 323 BC, Alexander the Great died in a place in Babylon. 321 BC, the Battle of the Caudine Forks. Rome defeated by the Samnites. 312 BC, the number of rural tribes in Rome is raised to 27. 311 BC, Etruscans join the Samnites against Rome. 307 BC, the Italian tribe, the Hernici, revolt against Rome. 304 BC, end of the Second Samnite War, Rome establishes many new colonies and gains control over much of central and southern Italy. 300 BC, Lex Ogulnia is passed, which states that half of the members of Rome's priestly colleges must be plebeian. 299 BC, the Romans capture the territory of Narnia. 298 BC, the Romans capture the Samnite cities of Taurasia, Bovenum Vetus, and Orphidna. 295 BC, Roman victory over Samnites, Gauls and Umbirnas at Sentinum. 294 BC, Samnite victory at Luceria. 293 BC, the Romans achieve a victory over the Samnite forces at the Battle of Aquilonia. 292 BC, the rebellious city of Phalerii is reduced by the Romans. 291 BC, the Romans storm the Samnite city of Venusia. 290 BC, establishment of the triumvirate capitals occurs in Rome. 287 BC, introduction of the triumvirate monetals to control the minting of coins. 284 BC, the Gallic Senons renew their incursions into Roman territory and lay siege to the city of Rhegium, defeating the army of the consul Caecilius Metellus. 283 BC, Boii defeated at Lake Vadimo. 282 BC, Rome conquers territory still held by the Gauls along the Adriatic, Roman fleet attacked by Tarentum. 280 BC, the Great Lighthouse is built on the island of Pharos in the harbour of Alexandria by King Ptolemy II in Egypt. 279 BC, Pyrrhus defeats another Roman army under the command of G Fabricius Luscinus. 278 BC, Pyrrhus leaves Italy for Sicily. 275 BC, Pyrrhus returns to Italy but is defeated near Malventum and leaves Italy for good. 272 BC, Surrender of Tarentum. 270 BC, Capture of Rhegium. 269 BC, Beggining of official coinage of the Roman state. 268 BC, Byzants conquered and granted limited citizenship. 267 BC, the Romans capture the city of Brundisium. 266 BC, Apulia and Messapia reduced to alliance securing the Italian Peninsula for Rome. 264 BC, start of the First Punic War. 263 BC, the first sundial is brought to Rome from Sicily.